Morning, guys. Welcome to the current affairs session, right, where I'll be discussing all of the important topics that are necessary for UPSC, right, be it for prelims or be it for mains. Everything I'll be covering, right, and let us start with today's current affairs session. We're going to discuss today's newspaper, that is 27th May, right, and the first one that we are going to discuss is India-US draw up a deal, right? It's talking about India and US draw up a deal on the rare earth elements. Now let us talk on what rare earth elements are, right? Rare earth elements are a group of 17 metallic elements, right? Rare earth elements are nothing but a group of 17 metallic elements, which actually include some metals. Like for example, there is neodymium, right? Neodymium is there, lanthanum is there, right? Neodymium is there, lanthanum is there, then dysporium is there, and yttrium, yttrium. All of these are there, right? Now there is reason these metals are called rare earth metals, and that is not because they are rare in the atmosphere. I mean, the earth, right? They are not called rare because they are rare on earth. They are called rare because they are very scattered, right? Let's say the whole world has abundant rare earth elements. Let's say neodymium is there. Neodymium is a magnetic metal. Right? Neodymium is a very powerful magnetic metal mineral. Okay, and that is used to prepare magnets. And this magnetic material around the world, it is very present abundantly. But the abundant amount of neodymium present is very scattered. Let's say if there is 100% of neodymium on Earth, right, and in every place it is like 0.001%, 0.005%, 0.0006%. It is available in this small amount. That is the reason it is called rare. Okay, it's not because it is very least. It is abundant, present abundantly, but it is scattered in a very small pieces. Okay, that is the reason it is called rare. And second part, it is called as rare is because uh, mainly because its extraction capabilities, right? Many countries do not have extraction capabilities of metallic minerals, especially the rare earth elements, right? Despite the name, as I was saying, despite the name rare, right? Many are not actually rare in the Earth's crust. They are scattered in low concentrations, right? They are scattered in very low concentrations, and extracting and refining them is actually very difficult, right? It is very difficult, and it is hard, right? That is the reason they are called rare earth elements, right? And the second thing we need to keep in mind is that why these rare earth elements are important, right? The reason these rare earth elements are important is because they are helpful in manufacturing many aspects, right? For example, electrical vehicles are there. Then you have defense, like missiles, fighter jets, right? Then you have semiconductors. For all of these, if you actually see everything that is running, or every element that we have, or every what do you call commodity that we have, majorly depends on rare earth elements, right? Including this board or this pen, whatever is there, everything is running on the major rare earth elements, and that is why they are very important for us, right? And now India has striked a deal with the Quad, right? We talked about Quad yesterday. Quad is nothing but a grouping between India, Australia, USA, and Japan. It came into existence in the year 2007, right? It came into the existence in year 2007, that too in Manila, right? Manila. And the Japanese Prime Minister that was present during the time of the emergence of Quad is Shinzo Abe, right? Shinzo Abe. And what are the objectives? The objectives of Quad is nothing but one, having a proper alliance; two, countering the influence of China; and three, having a free Indo-Pacific region, right? Having a free Indo-Pacific region is the other reason why the Quad alliance has been formed. Now, coming back to the rare earth elements, we have recently discussed that the rare earth elements are how many? 17. 17 rare earth elements are there. Of those, there are neodymium, yttrium, neodymium, yttrium, diasporium, right? Lanthanum. All of these are what rare earth elements. Now, the most important use of these rare earth elements is the use of magnets, right? Magnets is the most important use of rare earth elements. Like for example, as I was saying, in jets or electrical vehicle motors, everywhere the magnets are very important, and neodymium is a very powerful magnet that is used in fighter jets, missiles, or electrical vehicles. Okay, and the main manufacturer of main country that is actually dominant in manufacturing of rare earth elements is what? China. And that is why you see the Quad making an alliance. As I was saying, what is the criteria? One of the objectives of Quad. One of the objectives of Quad is what? It is nothing but reducing the influence of China. Right, countering the influence of China is one of the objectives of Quad. And who is the main dominant country that is present in rare earth elements? It is China. Obviously, if China has high amount of power, right? If China has high amount of power, what will happen? It will be able to disrupt the global economy. And if you actually see, many other countries have capabilities. Even India has capability of rare earth elements. USA has capability of rare earth elements. Russia has capability of rare earth elements. But it is only China who has developed refining, right? Refining, manufacturing, right? It has China is the only country that has developed factories for refining, manufacturing, and all of these rare earth elements. That is why China is actually dominating currently. And in order to counter the China's influence, Quad has formed an alliance to made up a pact, or they drew a deal, right? Drew a deal to counter the influence of China in the market of rare earth elements, right? Right, as I was saying, China dominates the global rare earth supply chain, and which controls in mining. Right, mining is there, refining is there, processing is there, magnet manufacturing is there. And if China puts exports control, all the electrical vehicle manufacturing, then magnet manufacturing, and the semiconductor manufacturing, everything will be disrupted, right? And the global economy will fall down. So, in order to counter that, Quad Alliance has come up with this. And the second thing that we need to keep in mind is that uh, why is Quad actually trying to do this? As I was saying, that Quad is trying mainly to do this because it wants to find an alternative supply chain. Right? It doesn't want any country to control uh, the area of rare earth elements. It doesn't want any country to control the area of rare earth elements. That is why Quad is doing all of this. Right? That is why it is important. And what is India's role? Obviously, India's role is obviously to create a circular economy. Right? If it creates a circular economy, for example, let's say, as I was saying, semiconductors are there, magnets are there, mobile phones are there. All of these use rare earth elements, meaning that they are already present in all of these. So instead of throwing all of the mobile phones or semiconductors that have already been used, what we can do is create a circular economy where we are throwing all of the waste and taking them back and recycling it, taking all of the minerals back again, so that there won't be any control from China. So first thing we have to do is create a circular economy. Whenever there is dominance by one country, creating a circular economy would ensure that the dominance would not act on countries like India. Right. Second thing is first thing is recycling old electronics, then extracting metals from e-waste, then recovering minerals from batteries and magnets. That is all we can do. Right. That is all India is also trying to do. So in this deal, that is all is there. Right. It's saying that we have created an alliance between members of Quad to counter the influence of China. Second thing is that we are going to create a circular economy where everything is going to be recycled and all the minerals are being collected back. Right. So that is all about this particular article. Right. Then you have this: India's energy strategy needs price correction. Right. It's talking about Strait of Hormuz. Right. It's talking about how there is a disruption in the Strait of Hormuz. Right. Strait of Hormuz is nothing but a passage between where? It is a passage between Iran and Oman. It is a small passageway between Iran and Oman. Strait of Hormuz. And nearly in the Strait of Hormuz, nearly 1/5 of the global shipping happens. Right, 1/5 of the global shipping happens in the Strait of Hormuz. So Strait of Hormuz becomes a very important or crucial point. And as the wars have been extended in the West Asia or near the Strait of Hormuz, there is high amount of disruption in the global supply chain. As there is high amount of disruption, obviously what happens? All the countries that are dependent on energy through the Strait of Hormuz are affected. And one of those countries is India. Obviously, India is a highly important country, as we've been talking in many current affairs sessions. I've told you that India is very import dependent on oil, right, nearly imports 90% of its oil needs, right? As it is importing 90% of its oil needs, the editorial is saying that despite high amount of tension that has happened and high amount of what you call disruption that has happened between in the Strait of Hormuz and with West Asian countries, India has held it well. Right? That is what the editor is saying. Right? It's saying that India has held it well and ensured that everything is proper and people do not suffer. Right? That is what India did. And why has it happened? The main reason that has happened is because of one, diversification of supply. Right? India diversified supply. Second thing, strategic reserves. Right? Strategic reserves is another aspect. Right? First thing is diversification. India has diversified its supply chain. Right? Not only depending on Iran or any other countries that are present in that region, it has also started to depend on Russia. Yesterday we talked about how the Russia-Ukraine war led to the Western sanctions on Russia, which led Russia to sell oil at a very low price. So India started to take that as an opportunity and started to buy oil from Russia. So that is another diversification. Then you have UAE, right? United Arab Emirates, which has exited OPEC, and there are the small agreements that have been happening from between UAE and India, right? And then you have what do you call other African countries where everything is happening, right? And diversification is there, then you have strategic reserves is there, then there is agreement with the UAE, as I was saying, and then you have the LPG scheme, right? We have the LPG scheme, Ujjwala scheme is there. As the Ujjwala scheme is there, the amount of beneficiaries from the Ujjwala scheme goes from 14.5 crores, right? 14.5 crores to 33 crores, right? The amount of members in PM Ujjwala scheme have been rising, and they have risen from 14.5 crores to 33 crores. That is a very high amount, meaning that many people are less dependent on firewood now. Right? Even the rural areas and all of the poor families stopped depending on firewood. Right? Firewood is actually very harmful for the environment. It is releasing benzene. It is releasing harmful carbon monoxide, which can actually affect your breathing capacity, right? So many people have stopped depending on firewood and started using LPG. So it is on government's duty to keep this up, right? Now again, it can't go back, as 33 crore LPG connections have been made. That is a good and a very positive step towards a better environment, right? As it has made a positive step towards a better environment, what the government has to do, it has to maintain it. So government prioritized on that, right? Government has prioritized on creating and maintaining the LPG connections and supplying LPG gas, LPG, I mean liquefied petroleum gas to the what all of the 33 crore beneficiaries. So it has prioritized LPG. Then you have what you call uh, this thing, right, where all of this is good, right? Everything is good, while India has maintained a very proper and good stature and good stance when all the disruption and conflict has been happening with the US and Iran. And even though there is high amount of disruption in oil supply chain, India has maintained well. But what you need to understand is that this is not possible, or this is not good in long term, right? Because we cannot be what you call dependent on all of these, right? Every time we cannot sit and watch which country will fight and which consequence we have to bear, right? We cannot keep sitting and we cannot keep imagining what will happen next. For that, we need to come up with something, and we have to uh, do something, right? But what has government done, right? The reason it is called unsustainable is because as the global prices have risen, right? Global prices have been rising. But if you see, there has not been a substantial rise in India, right? We only have 60 days of strategic reserve, right? We only have 60 days of strategic reserve. And it has already been more than a month since the war has started. So meaning that the demand that is there is continuously rising, right? The demand is continuously rising, and the strategic reserves that we have is very low, and the imports that are there, we are very less, right? All of this, what does it lead to? It leads to a high low supply. Very low supply means high amount of demand. In that way, the petrol prices should have been very high, right? I know I'm not saying that the petrol prices are low. I'm saying that the petrol prices should have been very high, right? When the petrol prices should have been very high, we don't have the petrol prices very high now. Why? Because the government is trying to sustain it. And who is bearing the brunt? All the oil marketing companies, right? All the oil marketing companies like the Hindustan Petroleum, then there is Bharat Petroleum, there is Indian Oil Corporation. All of these companies market the oil or the fuel at a very low price, right? At a very low price that is below the market price. Let's say the market price is 150 rupees. They're selling at they're selling us at 99 rupees or 115 rupees, meaning that there is a high amount of loss, right? There is a high amount of loss when oil marketing companies are selling the oil at a very low price. And the editorial says that nearly there is 700 to 800 crore loss per day. It's not even per week, it is per day. 700 to 800 crores per day. Can you imagine the amount of loss or amount of what you call disadvantage that is there due to 700 crores or 800 crores loss? Now, what is the problem with this is because, see, as there is high amount of demand, right? As there is high amount of demand, there is supply chain disruption is happening. People will think that there is no problem in India at all. As the people will think there is no problem in India, what they'll do? They'll start consuming more. They'll think that all the country is suffering, but our country is not suffering. As the supply chain is good and we are getting petrol regularly, so I don't think there is any problem in the supply chain. What will they do? They'll start consuming more. They'll stop conservation, right? When they'll stop conservation and when they'll stop consuming, then the actual what you call issue will rise. Then the actual issue will rise, and then people will start panic, and then government will take drastic steps, right? As the oil marketing companies are there, they are suffering. Now India will come and then it will start rising prices to 150 or 160 rupees. Then what will people do, right? In order to avoid these kind of things, we need editorial is saying that we need to come up with a solution, right? It's saying that rather than shielding the people and encouraging people to spend more on petrol, it's saying that we would you think it's saying that should do a one-time hike, one-time price hike. What is saying? Is saying that we have to do one-time price hike, meaning that let's say the prices now are 99, like 100 to 115 is the price limit now. Okay, we are gradually increasing. One day it is 2.3 rupees, the other day it's 2.4 rupees. We are gradually increasing from 99 rupees to 115 rupees. Right? Instead of doing gradually and putting the brunt on people, increase it drastically one time. Well, let's say 130 rupees, increase 130 rupees so that there won't be any disruption. There won't be any losses to the oil marketing companies. For example, let's say the oil marketing companies are there, they're selling at 99 rupees. They see that there is high amount of loss if they sell at 99 rupees. Now they will increase 2.2 to 2.3 rupees. Then they see that again this is also a loss. They'll increase a little more. They'll increase 2.3 or 2.4 more rupees. They'll keep on increasing like this. The editorial is saying instead of increasing this small amount, try to increase one drastic amount. Instead of putting the brunt on people and creating an uncertainty, create one big jump and leave it at that. That way you are not suffering and people are also not suffering. That is what the editorial is saying. But I think that is not sustainable, obviously, because let's say 130 rupees is there. 130 many people could not afford. Let's say the distance that they're traveling is nearly 50. They only put 50 rupees or 60 rupees of petrol in their vehicles, right? Then why would they clearly jump to 130 rupees, right? And that is the reason I think this is a little problematic. But what do you guys think? Like, please try to comment in the comment section. Tell me what is your opinion when where the editorial is saying try to give a one jump, right? One price hike, which is nearly drastic, covering the losses of the oil marketing companies and also the people, right? There is no disruption and all. That is what the editor is saying, right? And we also need to keep in mind is that there is a high amount of subsidies. What happens? Who gets the subsidies? All the oil marketing companies gets the subsidies, right? At the end of the day, if there is high amount of market price of oil and we are selling at a low price, means someone has to bear the brunt. People are not bearing the brunt. Who is bearing the brunt? The government is bearing it. Now, what does the government will do? Government will give subsidy. Who will it give to? The oil marketing company. What will oil marketing company do? Give it to us at a low price. Now, what will government do then? It will increase taxes. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, government gets revenue from the people. Right? It is not getting from anywhere. No one is giving money to the government. Who is giving money to the government? People are giving money to the government. Obviously. So, if people are giving money to the government and government is giving to the oil marketing companies, and oil marketing companies are selling us at a low price, then who will give government the money? Again, people. So, what will government do? The government will raise the taxes. Whenever the rising of taxes happens, what will happen? Obviously, people will again suffer. Second thing, there is high amount of fiscal burden. increased subsidies is nothing but revenue expenditure. Whenever there is high amount of revenue expenditure, we know that there is less amount of capital expenditure, and capital expenditure is something that is very important for a country. If there is no capital expenditure, what will happen? Huh? If there is no capital expenditure, there is no investment. If there is no investment, there is no proliferation of wealth. As there is no proliferation of wealth, again, who will face the burden? People will face the burden. That is the ripple effect of this, right? People think the economy is very simple. You give me money, supply and demand. It's not like that, right? Economy and maintaining a nation is very hard, and we have to applaud the government for doing all of this for us. And at the same time, it is also on us to not put a huge burden on the government, right? That way we are ensuring everything is proper, right? So that is all present in this article. Right, moving on, we have Raj Reflections and constitutional question, right? This editorial is talking about anti-defection law, and it's talking about anti-defection law and the term merger, which is present in the second schedule, 10th schedule, and also whether the two-thirds split is actually valid or not. That is all. That are all the aspects that this particular editor is talking about. Yeah, it's saying that uh, can the two-third MPs of a party in parliament merge with another party on their own, or does the original political party itself has to approve this merger? Right? What is it saying? It's saying that the two-third exception which is there. Right? There are two exceptions. One is that there is one-third split. One-third member of split can happen, which can lead to anti-defection, meaning that no defection can happen. People will not be disqualified based on one-third split, and there is two-third merger. Two-third members merging. Okay. This particular one-third split aspect has been removed, and this has been removed in the 91st constitutional amendment. The only thing we have is two-third merger. This came into existence, or this topic came into existence, because uh, two-third or two-third members of MPs of decided to merge with the Bharatiya Janata Party from up, right? And that is why this particular debate is come into existence. Now, what is the debate? It's saying that whether two-third members can go on their own, or should the political party approve the merger. Political party meaning the ARP is there. Let's say ARP is the organization, right? Aam Aadmi Party is the organization. It's a political party, right? Should the political party approve the merger? Only then will this happen, or is it MPs who are on their will can merge together and go, right? This is what this particular debate is actually talking about, right? Before going on to this, let us understand what defection is, right? Defection is nothing but where an elected representative, right? An elected representative betrays or leaves the political party of on whose ticket they won, right? For example, let's say ARP is there. On ARP's ticket, a person has won, and that person has left that particular party and joined BJP, and that is nothing but what? And that is nothing but defection. And this defection, what does it do? It includes horse trading, right? What is horse trading? Yesterday we discussed horse trading. Horse trading is nothing but where people leave a political party for an advantage, where they are getting concessions, where they are getting rewards, where they're getting posts of ministries, right? Only those aspects are called horse trading, right? And in 1960s, there was a what do you call a phrase, right? There was a phrase that had become popular. That is nothing but Ayaram Gayaram, right? Ayaram Gayaram was the phrase that actually became popular during the 1960s, because at that time many people were coming and going and coming and going. So there was high amount of political instability. As there was high amount of political instability, they came up with this. And in 1985, right? In 1985, they came up with 10th schedule through the 52nd constitutional amendment. Right? To the 52nd constitutional amendment in 1985, they came up with the 10th schedule, which actually protects the political parties from random defections and random splits between people. That is what has happened in the 52nd constitutional amendment, right? And the decision is a decision of disqualification, whether that particular person is disqualified or not, is dependent on whom? It is dependent on the speaker. The speaker or the chairman of Rajya Sabha decides whether that person is disqualified under the 10th schedule or not. So what are the aspects of 10th schedule? Firstly, it is saying that there are two aspects. One is the split, and the second one is the two-third merger. The one-third split has been removed in the 91st constitutional amendment, right? And 52nd constitutional amendment brought in the 10th schedule, and that was in the year 1985, right? And who decides whether that person is disqualified or not. Speaker or the chairman of Rajya Sabha decides it. Now coming back to the editorial, now editorial is saying that despite who comes and what the terms of merger are, there is two types. One is the legislature party, and then there is the original political party. Right? There are two types. One is the legislature party, and there is the original political party. Now, what is the legislature party? Legislator. Let us understand what political party is first. Right? Political party. Let's say ARP is a organization. Right? We are discussing ARP in the context of political party and legislature party. Political party means all the leaders, meaning the MLAs, MPs, all are there. Nothing but other than that, there are workers. Workers meaning the political party workers. Then you have symbols, then ideologies. All of these together represent a political party. Whereas the legislature party says that it is only elected members of MPs and MLAs, meaning that elected MLAs and MPs together form a legislature party. Right? As the legislature, they are called legislature party. Whereas political party is nothing but a holistic, right? It includes political party, meaning the leaders, the MLAs, MPs, party workers, symbols, ideologies, everything is linked to the political party. Now, that is all about political party and original party, right? And according to this, right, according to there was a Supreme Court judgment, right? I think it is Subhash Desai versus Principal Secretary, right? It was Subhash Desai versus Principal Secretary, in which the Supreme Court said that political party remains is central under the 10th schedule, meaning that MLAs cannot completely detach from original political party, meaning that even if they go from one political party to another political party, their ideology is remaining same, right? Their ideology is stagnant and there is particular, right? That is what the 10th schedule is. Sorry, I mean what do you call the particular judgment given by Supreme Court in the Subhash Desai versus Principal Secretary is, right? And the important constitutional provisions under this are, firstly, I think we have 10 schedule, as I was saying, 10 schedule is there, and then you have articles 102 and 191. Article 102 is talking about central disqualification, right? And who decides central disqualification? It is the president, right? President in consultation with the election commission of India. And 191 is nothing but disqualification for state legislature members. Then again you have paragraph 4 and paragraph 6 when it comes to 10th schedule. These are all the aspects that are present in this particular editorial, right? It's saying that there is a real tension between prevent defection and allow political dissent, and also protect political party and respect legislature's choice, right? The reason why the 10th schedule is come into existence is because it wants to protect the political party, but it has also some exceptions. And the reason it has exceptions is because why? It wants to give freedom to the political dissent, right? So that is what is present in this editorial, right? And that is all for today's newspaper analysis. Thank you guys for attending. I hope you guys have learned a lot. See you guys in the next class. Thank you.